History students, this is the recording for the week 5 quiz. We'll be reading the questions with the answer options. This quiz has a total of 10 questions worth 2 points each for a total of 20 points. Question number 1. Which group of events occurred during the American Revolution? Is it Group A, including the Boston Massacre, Boston Tea Party, shots fired at Lexington and Concord, Sons of Liberty formed militias, or is it Group B, American victory at Saratoga, naval successes for John Paul Jones, American losses at Charleston and Savannah, or British surrender at Yorktown? Question 2. What was the role France played in the American Revolution? They organized Native American groups against the British. They provided arms and ammunition to British soldiers. They sent commanders to train the Continental Army in winter camps, or they sent much-needed naval support to the colonists and were instrumental in the siege of Yorktown. Question 3. Which is not a way colonial women helped the war effort? They wrote letters to King George encouraging him to end the war. Some women marched with the army and cooked for the soldiers. Several women disguised themselves as men and fought in the war. Many women had to remain at home and run farms or businesses alone. Question 4. How did the fighting the American Revolution impact the American view of central government? They remained suspicious of strong central government. They sought advice from the British about parliamentary government and the rules of common law. They approved the way the Congress handled emergencies. They were excited by the prospect of a strong new federal authority. Question number 5. The Articles of Confederation was a loose political agreement between the newly formed states after they declared independence from England. It was used during the war and provided enough organization to help the colonists win their independence. Why was the Articles of Confederation eventually replaced by the Constitution? The British believed the Articles created an unfair trade relationship with them and refused to trade with the U.S. unless it was replaced. The Articles did not have the power to tax, require soldiers for defense, could not settle state disputes, and had a difficult process for approving laws or changing the Articles. The Articles were not a document recognized by the rest of the international community. The Articles violated the Declaration of Independence and were removed during the Second American Revolution. Question 6. What was the purpose of the Constitutional Convention held in Philadelphia in 1787? To name the first president of the United States of America, to vote on whether or not to separate from Great Britain, to revise the Articles of Confederation to resolve economic and trade issues, to promote a spirit of cooperation, to achieve foreign trade agreements. Question 7. What did the Three-Fifths Compromise achieve? It specified the number of states necessary for ratification of an amendment. It designed how women and children were to be counted for representation and taxation. It determined how enslaved people were to be counted for representation and taxation. It required the cabinet to seek congressional approval before sending troops to war. Question 8. What did the Great Compromise, or also known as the Connecticut Compromise, do in our Constitution? It created the Supreme Court, allowed for a two-house Congress, one based on 2 delegates from each state, the other number of delegates based on population from each state. Created the Electoral College for presidential elections, or allowed for states to determine their borders between other states. Question 9. Who would make the following statement? The purpose of the Constitution is to limit the power of the federal government, not the American people. Would that be a Federalist, Anti-Federalist, a Loyalist, or a Republican? Which is a true statement about the Constitution? It was created so that it could not be revised as the country changed. It named George Washington as the first president of the United States. It is the longest-lived written plan for representative government in history. It is modeled on the Magna Carta, which is the world's oldest effective plan for representative government. Once you've completed your quiz, please make sure that you've saved your progress as you went, save all responses, and then click Go to Submit Quiz. Good luck on your quiz!